What's up, guys? Josh with Close Quarters Carry here, bringing you a review of the Goyojo. I'm pretty sure I'm absolutely butchering that name, but you have to blame my Florida public school education. Goyojo GRL Series 335 Thermal Scope. So, to be honest with everyone, I did get this sent to me from Goyojo. I actually cold emailed them, so a little word of advice to other creators, small creators like me who are trying to do stuff. I sent them the same style of spam email that we get from people, and I was just like, hey, I'm a small creator. I make reviews, I use gear, and I'd like to take a look at your thermals. So being one of the first big reviews that I've done with gear sent, I wanted to be sure I was giving you guys something honest. So yes, I did get this for free, but I'm not taking any money, and I didn't sign any contracts, and I didn't agree to anything. So I can pretty much say anything I want, and the only downside of that would be my relationship with people all the way across the world. So it is a Chinese optic. It does come from overseas, but one of the perks of these is you can pick these up on Amazon for under $1,000. So you're looking at decent thermal performance for under $1,000. All right, part one, we're going to talk about the builds of the thermal itself and what comes in the box. So the thermal unit itself, I have here on my small hunting setup. This is a Savage 110 PCS with a Silencer Co. Omega 9K suppressor, and this shoots 300 blackout. Found this to be a really good platform for the rifle itself. The scope has a 384 by 288 resolution with a 35mm lens. You're looking at a LED screen. It's 1024 by 728. It does have hotspot tracking, which I did use and I found it to be very useful. It has a 55 hertz refresh rate, and you can magnify up to 16 by magnification. So super cool unit. In the box itself, outside of the thermal device, you're going to get your instruction manual. I highly suggest taking a look at this because there are a lot of features in here that I was unaware of. One specifically was that you can actually control this via an app on your phone. So if you wanted to view what you had going on through your thermal for someone next to you while you're shooting, or just for yourself to have a bigger view, you can do that. I personally did not get the chance to mess with that, so unfortunately I'm not going to be able to review that aspect of the product. In here you get a really nice case with this, which I've actually been using when I go out because it is a nice solid case. That's one thing I'm big on, is if you give me a decent product that I know I'm going to care for, I'd like a nice case with it too. Inside the case itself, outside of the scope, which was in here, you get a bunch of extra goodies that come in the bag. Of course, you get a charger for the 18650 battery. The battery on the unit, oops, boom, smooth. You can tell I do this on the regular. All right, the battery on this unit itself is actually positioned sideways, so it's this way on the scope. From my understanding, that's supposed to help out with recoil. It's supposed to put less damage on the parts of the battery itself due to the recoil impulses on the battery. So that's the reason that they position it sideways, and it's also for space. For the battery itself, you do get their battery that comes with it along with the charger. The charger itself is pretty nice. I'm gonna go ahead and move that so it doesn't fall again. On the charger, it actually gives you indicators, and you can actually see the percentage of the battery that is charged, so it's not just either a charged or not charged. And that's pretty cool. You can also see how fast it's charging and select actually how fast it's charging and what type of charger. Super cool unit, way more advanced than kind of your typical battery chargers that you would get in a standard box. Comes with an additional eye cup. I found the bigger one was a little too big for me, but if you needed it, you could probably use it. I had to get a little closer to the optic myself to see. This is the battery that comes with it. Pretty cool. Charger for the battery. Small screwdriver. Now on the base of the optic itself, there are a bunch of small screws, and that's going to be for changing the base over. In here, they also give you a cantilever mount. So this is if you have bolt gun and you don't have a big rail up top and you need to bring that optic back more towards you, you can do it with this. But as you can see, there are some very small screw holes in there, and that's exactly what this is for. Charging box for the battery charger. They give you a nice little cleaning cloth for your lens. I don't think I've ever saved any of these. Here's some of those screws for the mounting base that I was telling you about. And lastly, Allen key for some more adjustments. Now that's everything that comes in the box with the Goyojo. I've kept everything in here solely for this video, and now I'll be able to take it all out and use it a little more. I have been using my own 18650 batteries in there, so I have not been able to test the claims of this battery. They do claim 6 to 10 hours. I found with the batteries that I'm currently using, I was getting somewhere in the range of 4 to 6 hours, but I was also, my brightness was up, I had the tracking on, I had pretty much all the functions going at once. I would assume if I was using less functions, I would have a longer runtime. So that would just make sense. Go ahead and just jam all this back in here. Super pretty. Fix it later. All right. Boom. Set that in the corner. Aesthetics. So let's talk about personal use case, what I'm going to be using my Goyojo thermal for. I'm going to be using it for some small game hunting, hog hunting, things like that. Range use, plinking. I love this rifle. I love using it. It's 300 blackout. It's an absolute blast to shoot. It's easy to shoot. Anybody can shoot it. The thermal itself fits on here great. I was concerned at first that maybe I was going to have some issues with hitting the bolt or anything like that, and I did not. I had absolute clearance the whole way. That was great. Nothing hit, and I mounted it pretty far back. So as you can see there, it's all the way to the rear of the rifle. On the scope itself, we have a few different adjustment buttons up here in the top. These are going to be your zoom in and out as well as your menu functions. So as you're going through your menu, you want to go up and down, make your changes, things like that. We're going to take a look at the menu in a second here. Here's going to be your actual menu button. Now it's a 2-function button. One tap of the button will change the color palette that you have on these units. They do come with a 7-color palette. You have black hot, iron red, green hot, fusion, ice fire, red hot, and white hot. Now, of all those, I ended up using white hot the most. I found that to be the best contrast for me here in South Florida. With a little bit of the humidity and everything else, it was just the cleanest picture overall for me. Also here on the unit itself, you can see you have an adjustment ring up front. It's a nice anodized aluminum blue ring. This thing is very easy to use and very easy to focus, as well as you have another adjustment ring right here in the back. This lets you focus in on the actual picture itself on the screen. So we can kind of take a look in here. I'm going to go ahead and just turn it on. We'll take a look at the menu, but first we're going to swap out this battery real quick. Let me go ahead and just reorient myself here. All right, right here on the side, here is the battery cap. It's on the left side of the optic. Go ahead and just give that an unscrew real quick. This little rubber thing kind of gets in the way. There we go. So these are the batteries that I've been using. They are advertised as a 9900 milliamp rechargeable battery. I don't know if that's real. I found out recently that a lot of the batteries that we get online have a lot of false claims on them, but I get about 4 to 5 hours out of these batteries. Go ahead and just jam this battery in there real quick. And let's go ahead and take a look at this menu. Brackets and mounts, brackets and mounts. I don't know how to adjust my brackets and mounts. Here we go. Here in the unit itself, you can actually see it gives you a compass up at the top. You have some of your holdover windage and elevation adjustments down at the bottom left. So I have this one currently set to this rifle at 100 yards, and it tells you how far you are from your original adjustments. You can see your magnification down here in the bottom right corner, as well as the battery indicator. We're going to take a look here through the menu real quickly. I'm going to push and hold the M button. That's the second one from the bottom. That's going to take us into the menu itself. So we're going to go into the reticle menu first. We're just going to go ahead and push that same menu button. So now we are into our user data. We have, sorry, I'm trying to see this through my own screen here. Okay, this is reticle style. So we should have 5 different reticle types in here. So that's style 4, style 3, which, ooh, that one reminds me of an EOTech. Style 2. Style 1, and 0 is nothing, or maybe even that little X. Nope, it's just nothing. So this is the one I personally like. I use this one because I can use my holdovers with this. Let me go ahead and back this out now. Also, to back out, you just push the power button, tap it once. Saves you a bunch of time. So color, this is your palette color. I'm going to have a video I'm going to clip in here showing all of that. I did record some cows out in a field. That way you can see each individual palette color, go through those one at a time, and give you a chance to take a look at all those. So adjust. This is to adjust the reticle. This was one of the biggest perks I think I found in this optic while I was using it, was adjusting out the zero. When adjusting the zero, it was really, really easy because you take a shot wherever you hit, and with the thermal you can see it really well, especially if shooting like a reactive target or something like that, which we were shooting the side of a car, and I'm going to add some footage of that in as well. And you could actually see where the previous hit was. I was able to go in here, adjust it, go to change it. It takes a picture. If you're holding your rifle up where you were aiming, it takes a picture, and then you're able to just adjust your crosshairs over to where you hit, and you've adjusted your zero essentially in one shot. Now, it took me, on the other guns, it did take me twice to adjust, but on this particular gun, it was 100% one-time adjustment. Zero was zeroed, and it was perfect for the rest of the day. Absolute great feature of this rifle, of this optic. So this is if I wanted to reset everything back, which we do not. Let's go ahead and exit out of here. So actually, there's more options here. Nope, that's it. So we're going to back out of reticle. So this is your compass up at the top, playback, recording mode, the different palette colors. So if you want to change them, you can change them in here if you want as well. Your magnification, which you can do all of those kind of edits, all these function edits that are in this part of the menu, you can actually adjust from the main screen just using the top buttons. Let's go ahead and back out of that. So this is your system info, the settings. So yeah, you can gather there's a bunch of just your basic menu options. Me personally, I'm not going to mess with a lot of these. I'm going to probably go in and play with the contrast on a day or so and do some of the brightness stuff, but I have found that in every different environment that I'm shooting in, it seems that those things need to be adjusted for each environment. This one seems to, in the factory setting, work the best across the board for me. Backing out of here, there we go. So it takes you back to the main page where you have your reticle. If you want to zoom in, you can actually, it's a digital zoom, so you just tap the forward button. You have 4x to 8 to 12 to 16. And I believe that's where it ends. Now, we did take this thing out, and I was looking at a few animals out in the field. We could see a couple of deer that had wandered into the range that we were on. And what was really nice about that was we had laser rangefinders, so we were able to get actual distances on a couple of these deer that were going by. And you can see here in the footage that these deer were about 600 to 700 yards away. And in the beginning, I could not identify these as deer. It took quite a while to do so. So personally, I would not feel comfortable if I was using this item at about 500 to 600 yards, which is why when I originally had it on a 308, I took it off, and I really wanted to put it onto the 300 blackout, knowing that after using it for a little while, I found this thing has an effective range that is a little less than what they claim. So we're going to get into that, which is going to be the claims versus the reality. Now, is this a good thermal? Yes, 100% I say this is a good thermal. In fact, it's a great thermal for the price. I don't think for this price range you're going to find a better thermal for your hunting needs. If you're just getting into it, you're a beginner, you're a weekend guy like me, you just like to go out and have fun, you want something small, lightweight, compact, user-friendly, hook it up to an app, pull the memory card out of it, put it on your computer. It's great. There's absolutely wonderful if that's what you want. And it's available on Amazon. You can buy these things on Amazon. I think they're around $900. You get an Amazon warranty with it. So, hey, 30 days, you don't like it, send it back. Check it out. Take a look at it. You're going to like it, though. It's a good thermal for the price. Now, with that being said, we have to get into the claims versus the reality, because I watched a bunch of YouTube videos on this thing. I watched probably a dozen of them, and I'm not going to name anybody, but a lot of people just went with the stats off the box. I'm going to say, no, we can't go off the stats off the box. And I say this with all due love and respect to them, and I'm sure it was explained to me by a friend of mine who works in optics. He's worked for two large optic companies that actually sell thermals, and I would argue that these two companies really do set the standard in thermal production and stuff. He was explaining that there's a difference in identifying a target versus just being able to see target. And according to Goyojo, on their website and on their ads and on everything else, you can see things up to 1,974 yards. Well, conveniently, we were on a 1,000-yard range. Can you see a small hot spot past 1,000 yards? Maybe. I could kind of make out a couple of things in the videos. I personally wouldn't take a risk or a shot at anything at that kind of distance. They do say it'll show things up to 1,974 yards. I don't see that happening with this unit at all. I found its happy place for truly identifying game was going to be within that 300-yard range. That was a range in which you could see every outline. You knew exactly what it was. You would feel comfortable enough, or at least I would feel comfortable enough taking that shot. Now, I'm not saying that they're liars or anything like that. Is it able to see a large heat signature at that distance? Probably. Are you going to be comfortable taking a shot at a deer-sized target at 1,000 yards with this thing? No, absolutely not. But on the flip side, the refresh rate, it's supposed to be 55 hertz. I will go ahead and say this is one of the better 55 hertz refresh models I have ever used. I was tracking some game, looking at it, running around with it, moving, scanning left and right. This thing absolutely performed wonderfully. I did not get a lot of what I was getting with older thermal units where when you scan a field, it suddenly stops and refreshes itself halfway through. I was able to take shots at small game while moving using this thing past 75 yards and nailed it perfectly. So absolute bonus for this thing here for that, for the refresh rate and everything else. The claims on distance, I would argue, but when it comes to the refresh rate and usability within that 300-yard range, absolutely 100%. I think this is the thermal to go to. You're going to save about $1,000 to the next one, and you're going to end up with just as, and I hate to use the words just as good because it's better in some aspects, but you're going to end up with something that's just as good, if not better, in the Goyojo. So yeah, we took out the Goyojo here and took it on a couple of hunts. I also set up a few different shooting things with it just for fun. We set up some water bottles in which we shot. And then when I noticed when I was recording with it, wherever you adjust the zero for yourself, for your rifle, for your optic, when you go to record, there's no way to get rid of the crosshairs, and the crosshairs are defaulted to the absolute center. So in a lot of your recordings, it kind of looks like you're not aiming in the right spot, but when you're actually looking through the scope, you are aiming in the right spot, which was a little confusing when I was playing back some of my own videos, because I thought, I was like, man, what was I aiming at? And it, just going through the optic in the menu itself, it seems like it's just a default something with their system. I did reach out to Goyojo about it, and they were like, hey, we're actually going to be fixing that. They're super cool. They're very communicative with me, and they said they're going to have a software update for that soon. So when I do the software update, I'll probably make a short on that because I'll be able to make some more videos without the crosshairs on them. So far, my overall experience with the Goyojo GRL 335. Would I advise you, my followers, and my friends to go out and purchase this thermal? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes because I've shot about 1,000 rounds through it now. We put it on a 308. I put it on a 7.62 by 3.9. Now it lives on this 300 blackout. I've had zero function issues. I haven't seen the screen skip or do anything like that. It has a bunch of awesome features in there. One of them being the auto record feature. When you take a shot, it starts automatically recording. That's been super cool. It's let me catch a couple of moments that I didn't think I would. The ease of use with having a memory card in here was really nice. It uses an external memory card over here where the USB port is. There is a memory card slot on this side. That was super convenient because I'm able to pull video from it and upload it to the computer, do everything like that. I haven't messed with the app yet. I should. It'd probably be an easier way to upload footage. The only thing was, with my fat fingers, I'm not able to get the memory card out of here without getting like a little pair of tweezers in there to help me out. But again, that's probably just an American fat finger problem. Other than that, absolutely recommend the unit. The QD mount was another good point. You could just push down the button, pops off, smack it on something else. I'm probably not going to do that. This is probably just going to live on here. I just like the QD because I don't need tools. If I do ever need to take it off and do something, work on it, anything like that, it's a big perk for me. I don't think it's possible to find a thermal optic that works this well for this price. I want to thank Goyojo for sending this out to me and taking a chance to allow me in my silliness to do a serious, somewhat review on this product. I've absolutely enjoyed using it and running it. I'm definitely going to be keeping it on this rifle for a long time until it stops functioning or I break it, which I don't really see happening. Whatever they use to build the body of this, it's all aluminum. It's solid. This thing, I really don't feel like it's going to go anywhere. If you would like to see more reviews like this, if you like what I did here, if you like what I said and you like what I see, tell me. If you don't like it, tell me too. Just let me know. I want to know how to do this better. I want to know how to do more reviews for you guys, and I want to know what you guys want to see. So if you guys could just drop me down in the comments and just let me know, hey, what do you want to see? What do you want to see me do with this thermal? What do you guys want to see me review next? Anything in general, please just let me know down below. I'm going to be constantly making holsters, but this has kind of become a side quest hobby for me to review some of the gear that I've been out there using. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you and have a good day.